Good morning, Linux lovers. My name's Wimpy. Welcome to my world. This morning, I'm going to do a bit of shell scripting to simplify the installation of DockerSlim for Linux and Mac OS. If you're watching this video on YouTube, it was originally recorded live on September the 16th over on twitch.tv/Wimpy's World. So if you want to join in with these live, then please come over there and give me a follow. Right, I'm going to do my usual thing, ping out a quick message to let some friends know that I'm doing this thing. And right, that's it. So I've fiddled around with my OBS setup a little bit as well today. Maybe I'll touch on that a little bit later. But for now, we'll just get the Twitch dashboard back up there. There we go. And right, let's head over to the code editor. Well, or the code editing area. So I work for Slim.AI. And Slim.AI make an open source project called DockerSlim. Here it is on GitHub. If you've ever used containers or aspire to use containers, this is a great tool to have in your tool belt. It will help you minimize your containers by anything up to 30 times, among other things. It can also improve the security profile and help speed up your deployment turnaround and stuff. So anyway, I work over at Slim as a developer advocate. That's my day job. And whilst I was writing some notes for a workshop recently, I noticed that the installation instructions for DockerSlim are a bit messy. Not messy. There's too many steps. It could be simplified. Now, it could be simplified in a lot of different ways, and I'm going to start with the simplest option, which is a shell script that can install the binaries for Linux and Mac OS. And I'm going to try and make that also work for the M1 Macs and ARM architectures as well. So that's what I'm going to be doing today, bit of shell scripting. I don't think I'll do the pull request to DockerSlim today, but I will get the shell script finished. So that's the objective. Make a shell script to simplify a DockerSlim install. And if we look in the docs here, we've got an installation section after the examples here. And we can see it says, download the appropriate binary. So you need to know what system you're running. And then you need to unpack things in different ways, depending on which, you downloaded. Or you can use brew. Or you can actually install it inside Docker as well. That's a tutorial I need to do for another day. So we're going to try and take all of this bit and turn it into a single line just to replace these existing bits here. And also good morning, Yannick, and also Linux Paul. Welcome back, both of you. I see Yannick suggesting a snap install DockerSlim. Yes. So I think in the future I am also going to make a deb of DockerSlim. I may even make an Arch PKG build of DockerSlim. I might have a go at making an RPM spec file, or make a snap. Now again, the thing about DockerSlim is that it needs to execute things, so that would need to be a classic snap. And as I've said before, as soon as it gets into the realms of being classic, that's when I start to question whether snaps are the right choice. Now, as it happens, DockerSlim is a Go, implemented in Go, so it's a single binary. So it negates many of the sort of library coercion issues that you get with making classic snaps. So it is feasible. But I'm going to go through the easiest thing first of all, which is a shell script. And then maybe in the future I will look at other packaging techniques. A DockerSlim MSI. So obviously, given what DockerSlim does, it needs to operate in a place where Docker's available. So I don't know that we have Windows binaries currently. I need to speak to Kyle about why that might be. Let's go and have a look. I mean, the other option, of course, is you use WSL on Windows and you just, do it in that there Linux on Windows. So yeah, we don't have Windows binaries. I will inquire why. Because there must be a reason, because Kyle is a very smart guy. It's an interesting question. I was thinking maybe if it's available on brew, maybe do it via chocolatey or nougat or something. Yeah, although DockerSlim has update technology built into it already, so this is why I'm like, well, you know, it may not be the best approach. Good morning, Henrik. How are you doing there? Right then. So let me just. Oh, hello. That moment when things aren't on the screen that you expected to be on the screen. That's a bit disappointing. Right. So I'll just let some other friends know. Right then. Right, let's get on with this then. So I know what I want to do. I think what we'll do is we'll just bring up these instructions again for the. Oops, get on the right screen, Martin. Get on the installation area, because we'll start by looking at how the manual instructions are outlined and sort of mimicking that to some extent. So we'll need that. And we'll probably start with just grabbing that as the example. We'll start with that as our starter position. So let's head over to our code editor. Here we go. Let's do development. Let's make a directory called DockerSlim. Let's make just a thing called install. We'll just call it. In fact, we don't even need a directory. So let's code install DockerSlim. Whoops, slime. That's unfortunate typo. DockerSlim. Okay, and we will make that executable whilst we're here. Oh, I need to. So here we go. Let's just save the shebang. Then we can save, make the file executable. And that's our starting position. We'll start with there. Okay, let's have a look. So Yannick says, I got a notification from the post office that some swag is coming my way. Wow, we're fast, aren't we? Or rather, Gillian is. Yes, so yeah, as I said, I work at Slim.AI. And in fact, we are streaming later today a continuation of our Containers 101 series that we've been doing. So this afternoon, or rather my evening, so 8 p.m. my time, so what's that, 9 p.m. Central European time and 3 p.m. Eastern in the US, we're doing the next installment of Containers 101, and we're going to be looking at how you use volumes with Docker. So this is the mechanism by which you can access data directories outside of the container for persistent storage. And Peter has written a brand new application in Python, a little web app to use as an example for this. So we're going to be going through that web app and how it uses volumes. So if you've been following our containers series, Container 101, then do go over to twitch.tv/slimdevops, because we'll be over there later on doing that thing. So there's chat. I'm missing messages. One moment. Right. Anyway, I mentioned Slim.AI because we also have a Discord, and we've been handing out swag to new Discord members over there, and we've been doing some office hours and things in the Discord as well. Right then. Yeah, there's a little debate going about self-updating package technologies in the chat. Okay then, let's get on with this thing. So we'll start here. We've got download this. Let's go and grab all of the steps that exist in the upstream instructions so far, which looks a little bit like that. So that grabs a tarball. So let's start thinking about what we need here. We need to set a version. We'll just make this a string for the moment. We can actually use the GitHub APIs eventually to automate grabbing the latest version number. But we'll just inject version in there. And I think I've got shell check enabled. So the idea is that we will we'll probably need to get a temp file name as well at some point. But for the moment that will do. Now that's going to work on Linux, but we already know that the assets for Mac OS are zip files. So I spoke to a friend of mine, Danny, who is sometimes in the chat here, but not today. I think it's a bit early in the morning for them. To get me some how uname works on the Mac M1 Silicon, because I need to know a couple of things. So we'll just put that there for the purposes of this stream. I'll just pin that up there, always on top, and I'll just minimize that. There we go. So what I'm going to do is put some guardrails in to work out what we're running. And I want to use like really minimal tooling because I don't have, well, actually it's a lie. I have a MacBook Pro, but it's an old Intel MacBook. So, and I don't have that with me today. So I'm sort of doing the MacBook blind. So we'll assume this is going to work. So if we look at what uname gives us, there are a couple of, in fact, let's do this, an actual terminal. If we do uname -a, minus help, we can see that we can get the machine, the processor, and the kernel name. And I think I'm right in saying that we can't get... I was interested in if the hardware platform would come back, but you can see here these are non-portable. So actually dodging P and I flags, I isn't implemented at all in macOS. And we can see here the processor is non-portable, so I should probably stick to using the kernel name and what was the other one? The machine architecture here. So those are the two flags we're going to use. So it's kernel name and machine. So let's go and create some variables. Kernel and machine. And then we will say kernel equals uname dash dash, what was it? Well, I know that the longhand works in Linux, but I don't think it works in Mac OS. So it's actually S that we want here. So we'll do that, and then machine. If there's anyone that happens to have a MacBook and's watching in live chat and they know otherwise, then I'd prefer to use longhand, but I know that I'd check the shorthand flags with Danny. And the other one is machine, which is -m. So we'll just do the simplest thing possible. We will just echo out the kernel and do the same for machine. We'll just exit there as well. So if I maybe actually will not bother with this miniature terminal here, maybe we'll just keep it all here. So if we just run that, that's going to do the simplest thing. So that tells us Linux, and from that I can derive hopefully the architecture. So let's go over here again, and we can wrap this in if if kernel then we'll, because we know we're going to need to do slightly different things here, elif, and then we'll want, in fact, that Control X. So that Control Z. I've done the wrong thing there. There we go. Elif will need an else, and we'll need an if. So we'll say if it's on Linux, do these things. We'll then say else will elif will do, say it's Mac OS. And this should be Darwin for Mac OS. And then we'll just have a condition here, which is catch anything else, in case somebody runs this on something I haven't been able to determine what it is yet. Right, supported platform. That'll do for now, and we'll just bomb that with an error, and that should be consistent for both. So we'll take that as an initial example. We'll just do this, and we'll now replace this with echo Linux and echo Mac OS. Drop that and drop the exit in there. So that's the bare skeleton of the initial context checks. So what have we got here? We've got some people. Oh, excellent. Hello, Yeti Ops. Welcome back. And you say I can help on the Mac side. I'm on one for work right now. No access to M1 though. That's fine. So I know. I think I know what I needed for the M1 stuff. But you say yes. It's also x86 and Darwin. Excellent. Good. Okay, so in actual fact, the Intel architecture is reported in the same way on Linux and Mac OS, which is great. And according to my notes from Danny, it will report ARM64 on the M1 Macs. So that should be fine. In fact, thinking about it, I haven't thought about what Linux returns on the ARM devices. I can't remember. So I may have to skirt around that for the moment. If anyone's got a Raspberry Pi, then you name -M. What does a Raspberry Pi report when it's running either Raspbian or Ubuntu? Hello there, welcome back. Selective duplicate. In fact, that's is you new to the stream, or have you been here before? I struggle keeping up with everything. Hey RJ, how you doing? Yeti Ops, you're going to be very helpful today. That's brilliant. Okay. Pardon? x86-64 on the Pi 3. That doesn't seem right. Okay. Yeah, all good here. All good here. This is something that I've been meaning to do for a while, and I just thought I'd make a start on it. Okay, so ARM v7. Okay, so that's on the Pi 3, and is that that's the 32-bit that you're running, right, Yannick? Oh, my phone is going off. We'll stop that. Right, okay, so ARM v7L. Okay, so let's just make a note here. ARM v7L for 32-bit ARM on Linux, and ARM 64 for M1 macOS. And if anyone's got 64-bit knocking around, there it is. Excellent. Thank you, Yeti Ops. That's fantastic. And it's ARch64 for 64-bit ARM on Linux. So let's put all of that together. We'll just check that I've done my string comparisons correctly, because I can't recall if that is actually correct. So if we just run that script now. Okay, that works. That's good. Right then. So we don't need to do this here. So we'll get rid of those placeholders, and then we'll think about this. We need to do the hardware. We could do this in one place, couldn't we? Control V. So this is saying dist Linux. So let's go to the instructions and just see what it says for the M1 downloads. So here are the Mac URLs. Let's just take the URL for the moment. So this is there's one there. What we'll do is we'll create a function that generates the URL for us. So that's regular Linux, which is only for 64-bit, so we don't support 32-bit Linux by the looks of it, which is reasonable given the number of distributions, and also running containers on 32-bit is not wise. Okay, so let's grab all of those, and then we'll create ourselves a little function. So let's do this here. Let's create a function called download DockerSlim. Let's move all of this into there. That can definitely come before. Okay, so here are our URLs. So then let's think about this. We want to say if we'll have local base URL I think I need to, oh no, I can assign this. This is going to be a string. So let's put that there. We'll also put var in here, and we'll maintain. Oh no, we'll keep that in the global scope actually up here, because then we can just edit that up there nicely. These we probably want to keep in the global scope as well. So we'll move those here. I'll leave them at the top of the moment actually, because we'll figure the execution order out later. Right then, so what does it say here? Didn't see my session had gone back to WSL. Okay, on Debian Buster 64-bit. Okay, yeah, that's great, Yetiops. Thank you. I think thank you all of you that have done that little test there. So then we'll have a local file name equals that. So we've now got just this bit to derive. Oh, and I've got I think we'll do that, and then we'll say here. So we've got this if kernel business. So let's grab this. And we'll leave that there, because what we'll do is Control V. So if kernel is Linux, then name equals, and it's going to be one of those. So now we'll say let's just get a conditional in here. So we're now going to say that if the machine, what have we got here? We've got those things. So we could, there's only 3 options. It's never going to grow. So I was just wondering if we could use a case statement here, but there's not enough variety in the paths that this can take. So we'll just keep it nice and simple. So if we just take that, we'll then do that. And this. So we had, if the machine architecture is x86, I think it was, wasn't it? Let's do it on my machine here. Uname -m. There we go. That's what we're looking for. So if it's Linux and x86, then this is the file name that we're after. If the machine is what do we want now?
Thank you for the follow, the evil 24A.
Thanks very much. Thanks for stopping by. How did you find us? do say hello in chat. It's always good to get to know the people that are new and the returning sort of community members. Hey Popey, how you doing? Hey Dust, how are you? I've been following Atom very closely. I've recommended it to a number of people already. I know it's not available, but I've let people know who are going to want to make use of it that it's coming soon. Right, okay, so where were we? We figured that out. We now want, if it's, what was our little list? So ARM v7 is the other option. This is going to then be this version of the file name. And then finally, we're going to have, if machine is AArch64, then we'll grab this one. So that's the Linux cases accounted for. Hang on a minute. Oh yeah, and then we've just got this. So then once we're done there, then we're in macOS land, and we're not going to have the else condition in here. I'm going to guard that in the global scope. So let's just have a think about this. We want to do exactly the same thing here. So x86 is going to be the same, and it's going to be this file name. And then this is, if we detect ARM, it's going to be this, but the ARM machine name for M1 Max is different to Linux, and it is, according to my notes, oh no, it's the same. Haha, it's ARM64. Okay, that's great. ARM64, so just change that. There is no 32-bit M1s, so we need that. Well, those don't need to be all the way in there, do they? And we'll just close that condition. So that should be everything we need there. Oh, silly boy. Hang on, what have I done here? Oh well. Right, let's just line this stuff up. Right, there we go. Elif. There we go. That's what we need. So there's our function, I think. So we should just be able to now echo the base URL with the file name. Helps if I wrap that in the appropriate stuff. Gosh. So that should do that. And now we'll just do this. We'll do if kernel equals that, or kernel equals Darwin. We'll just put this guardrail in the global scope to make sure we're only running on Linux or Mac OS. There we go. So we should now be able to call our function, which was download DockerSlim. So we'll save that. Right, I've seen there's been some text whizzing by. I'm just going to close notes that I don't need up there. Okay. Let's have a look. Oh, we're still talking about Snapsuit. My pleasure, Dust. There's a few of us that are waiting on Atom with bated breath. What's the ETA? I know you said 4 to 6 weeks when I spoke to you a few days ago. And then I watched a video from Greg, which was about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he was saying 4 to 6 weeks back then. Come on, it's got to be sooner, right? 4 to 5 weeks. Okay, it's coming down. It's coming down. You got a bit of scope creep, or are you just being thorough in your testing? Oh, really? Okay, fair enough. Is this to like launch all of the payment services and what have you? Would you do a catch-all at the end? Yes, RJ, I think you can see that in this. So what I've done is I've put that guardrail here in the global scope, not in the actual downloader. Or it doesn't actually download yet, it just prints things out, and we'll give that a test in a moment. Okay, so I'm glad things are in good shape for you then, Dust. That sounds good. And Esme says, developing for Mac OS, has Wimpy totally jumped to Apple? No, so DockerSlim is available for Linux and Mac, and the install instructions are a multi-step affair at the moment, so I thought I'd write a script to simplify that. Regardless of whether you're on Mac or Linux, it will just install DockerSlim for you. I have had a MacBook Pro for about 2 years now. I don't use it very much. I use it for updating firmware on devices from time to time, and I did use it. My wife and daughter have now got iPhones, and I did use it to help me get their stuff set up. But I'm getting to the point where I have a Windows computer, and I think because I can run Windows in VMs better than I can Macs, I think I'm gonna do away with all Windows physical computers. I'll use VMs when I need Windows, and I think the Mac will become my other computer in the house rather than having a Windows machine. Right then, so getting OV cert for code signing. Oh wow, okay, yeah, I know. I know the pain you're going through there. I've experienced similar things. Yeah, particularly getting code signing signatures. Interestingly, for Mac OS. Yeah, for projects I've worked on in the past.
Thank you for the follow, DigitalOcean TV.
DigitalOcean TV, that's an interesting name. Anything to do with DigitalOcean by any chance? Welcome. I work with one of the DO sort of startup team. Oh, nice. Okay, so DigitalOcean TV. Hello. Brilliant. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, one of my colleagues was previously at DO. Yeah, yeah. Josh. Right. So yeah, thanks for stopping by. Right then, so I've caught up on the chat. Hello everyone, welcome. And let's just run this. It should just print out a nice string. Josh who? Oh, what's Josh's surname? Josh Vinny. Josh Vinny. He's on holiday at the moment. He's in France, I believe. Right, let's run this then. So if we run this, we should just see a string come back. There we go, a fully formed string, which is a URL to the current version of DockerSlim, relevant to my operating system and processor architecture. So that's good. So now what we can do is we can get on with the business of actually like downloading this thing. Right then. The annoying thing with the code signing problem, though, the majority of our expected user base being on Windows means they'll get hit the most with any. Yeah. I feel your pain. I've been here before. I know exactly what you're going through. It is a pain. Working aside Dust, I think I mentioned, I used to work at Canonical. In fact, there's some of my ex-Canonical colleagues in chat as well. And there were times when we had to update the bootloader shim, and the release process gets held up because we've got a ticket open with Microsoft, to get a new cert approved. And that was like, come on, we've got a release coming out. We need, that's Popey raising his hand there. He used to work at Canonical with me. Right then, let's actually take the bit that does the downloading, and we will put that inside the appropriate code block, because that will be different for each X. Take that, because once we've got this far, we're going to want to grab either a tarball or a so that's going to be fine. That's going to be this. So let's just paste that in there. Control B. And Control V. And that's just going to be ds.zip on the Mac. So that should be the end of that. And we probably need to tell this where to download to. So let's just have a think about that. We probably want to use something like mktemp. There we go. Create a directory, not a file. That's what we need. So if I just run mktemp minus directory, that created us a temp file relevant to the system there. So actually, if I run that with dry run, no, actually I don't want to do that, do I? I do want to run it like so. It will make it for me and I can capture the name of it. So let's do we'll do local. This is going to be target. No, let's just call it TMP. And then that's going to be like so. So that is going to do two things. It will create the directory, and then it will also hopefully store temp.dir in this variable. So let's just do that and run the script again. Oh, actually downloading it. There we go. So I've just downloaded it into the current directory. I didn't mean to do that. Let's remove that. But you can see here, that's the directory variable name. So that directory should exist now. It will be empty, but it will exist. So let's, yeah, that's good. So we don't need to echo that out. But what we will do is a cleanup. At the end. So we'll remove that like so, and we will now download this into there like so, and the same up here. Might be an opportunity to fold. I mean, I know this is only a shell script, but there might be an opportunity to fold some code here because these two lines are practically identical. So let's do that. Let's do local. Let's do file ext equals that. And in here, if it's Linux, we will set file. No. Yeah, that's fine. File ext equals tar.gz. And if we're here, we'll make that .zip. So if we're on Mac, we're looking for zip files. And then we'll just use that suffix on here now. In fact, let's just do that. Let's make it like so we can keep the delimiter in the string so it's clear what's going on. There we go. Right then. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. And now we can take that whole thing. We just need to do that once. We can do that all in a common place rather than splitting the code. So that should still do the same thing. Right then. Right then, but in terms of good news, we made another dev hire yesterday. Oh, excellent. I'm delighted to hear that. So that's 3 of you working on that now, right? Yes, I'm very happy with my code colors. I think what you'll find, Esme, is that the syntax highlighting in my Visual Studio Code is because I am using a Uru theme for Visual Studio Code. So you can go into the Visual Studio Code marketplace and just go and grab that Uru theme, and you too will have these beautiful colors. Right then. So another day, another late Stan. Submitted. Well done. This one is more for the websites and services. Okay, cool. Yeah, I noticed there's like a placeholder website. I am snooping all of the places I can snoop. I tell you, I'm going to be Linux customer #1 as soon as this thing comes out. There is still other themes in there called like Ubuntu, but there's one specifically for Uru. And that's the one I'm using. Yeah, I'm going to be reworking my OBS setup to add a whole bunch of interactive snizzle as soon as Atom's available. Like I said, I was going to write something, but no, I'm just going to be patient, wait a few more weeks, and then I'll use that. Right then, okay, so now we're downloading to temp.dir / and then we can use the same variable here, file name, right? And we should wrap those in double quotes so it doesn't glob them. Okay, right, so that's going to drag it all down, and then we can do a conditional here. And we can now use the variable that we just created, file ext, so for the file extension, to determine what to do next, because if it's a zip we need to do one thing, and if it's a tarball we need to do something else. So if the extension is zip, we'll do this. Else, in fact we'll do an let's do that. We'll put an else in here just to catch the fall through. Elif. It's tar.z. Else, oh dear, something bad happened if we got here. So we'll just drop out of the execution there. And what does the official doc say to do? Let's go and grab them. So the official docs say do this. Well, in fact, it says do that for macOS. So let's do that. So what we should probably do is do a change directory into the temporary directory. Unzip. I think we'll add a -o there, which will forcibly overwrite what we've got just in case. We always download it to... so that's actually different. That's okay. So actually this is going to be different. What we're going to do is we're going to change this to ds.file.ext. There we go. And then we'll have the appropriate thing. Okay, good. So we'll unzip there and then, whoops, we'll do the same beneath, except we'll extract it. Okay. So that should work, and then everything from here should be the same. So I think we'll find that those two commands are in fact the same. So we will do that. Does user local bin exist on Mac OS for those of you that have got Mac OS? And if it does, if user local bin exists, if you put a shell script in user local bin, is that in your path? I assume it must be, because I'm sure Kyle has already considered that for these instructions. Okay, so we come in here, so we download, and then it drops some files into the right place. And that's it. I think it is. Thank you. Who was that? Official Ventor. Hello there. I don't know if I've seen you in the channel before. Thanks very much for stopping by. Thanks, Dust. This is great. I love this. This is brilliant. I've been able to do all this Mac stuff and the ARM stuff without thinking ahead and actually having those things in front of me. Well, thank you very much for stopping by. It's always good to see new people in the chat here. So that's that. I think actually that should be it, right? I think that accounts for all of the edge cases. So we can remove our comments. We don't need that anymore. Well, actually, that's unwise. Let's just leave those in case I've made a mistake. So we have the top level things. So these are, is this used outside of that function? It is, yes. So I think what we'll do then is we'll now remove that and set those up here like so. We don't want people editing that stuff, so we'll set those there. The machine, technically we only need that inside the function above, so let's go and make that a local. And we'll do that, and we can drop that from up here. And now in fact we'll just drag that and we'll make the top level bit the same, and then we'll just put that in to make shell check happy. So I'm trying to get better at thinking ahead in terms of shell check compliance. How are we doing? I don't think shell check has fired any No issues so far. Go me. Look at that. 57 lines and no shell check flags. That's what you want, isn't it? Ah, official fit. Okay. Thanks, Esme. Very good. Hey, Takov. Thanks very much for stopping by. Also, we were talking about Slim.AI swag earlier. There's stuff on the way to you for you and the event. And I heard from Yannick earlier. He said that he'd got notification that something was on the way to him today. He's in another European country. So I think there's a good chance that that should arrive to you in time for the event that you want to go to. Oh, yours has arrived. Oh my gosh, really? That's amazing. Didn't we only shipped it on Friday? Cool. How good. How good. Well, I've got some stuff coming, so hopefully in a stream near you soon, I will be able to be fully Slim.AI branded. I've got hats and mugs and t-shirts, socks, stickers, the whole 9 yards. Right then. So I think that is all we need, right? I think that will do it. So let's go and run the script. I think what I'll do to start with is I'm going to have some cruft in here. So I'm just going to, so I tested a couple of things. We'll just get rid of that one. And that one. Okay. Let's use the right password. Right then, that's good. And if we just let's into user local bin. Oops. So do I have DockerSlim, so sudo rm/user. Let's get rid of Docker Slim sensor and DockerSlim. So which DockerSlim? Nothing. Good. And we can see there's the exit. This is another reason why I use fish. There's the exit code from the command I ran, so I know it errored. So you don't need to go into inspecting the status right then. So what styling are you using for fish, Wimpy, if you don't mind me asking? Right. I am using Bob the Fish, which is the Powerline theme. And then if you run fish config, it will actually open a web browser where you configure fish shell. And there's a whole bunch of different color themes available in there. And I think I'm running one of the base 16 color themes. So, and there is if you look in my Twitch history, there is a stream where we get into all the fish stuff. I think it was the first one about Stream Deck. So find the first one about, I'll tell you what, let's actually go and find it for you, because trying to describe this stuff is crazy. But we did about 40 minutes on this the other day. Don't play, go away. So videos. How do I do this? I don't actually know how to navigate my own stuff. Why can't I see? Is it because I'm live I can't see the history of things? Huh. I'm not sure what I do about that. What if I click here? There we go. So I think it's not that one, it's this one here. So I'll grab the URL. And somewhere in here, yeah, using fish shell and Python. So this was the one where we get into it. And if you get about halfway through-ish, we kind of went beyond the Stream Deck bit into doing a whole bunch of stuff with fish. Right, there we go. So I'm just going to run that script now, and hopefully the outcome will be I have DockerSlim installed in user local bin. So that's it downloading. And herein lies the problem. So I need to run this with sudo. In fact, before I run it with sudo, I'm just going to have a look in /tmp. And the reason I'm looking in here is to make sure I cleaned up after myself, and that's worked. So we will just go and add a guard here. So we'll add if id minus u. I think that's the right flag we want. id minus u. Yeah, and sudo id minus u. Yeah, there we go. So we'll say if id minus u is not equal to 0, therefore we're not running in the root context, we'll bomb out. I assume id minus u does the same thing on Mac OS as I consider this. You must run this script. That's root. Does that meet with your approval, Dust? Doing it that way? Bin ID minus U is 501. Okay, ID minus U should work. Okay, excellent. 501 for you as well. Okay, so that's the default user ID on macOS, and I'm almost certain that root is going to be 0. So if you do sudo ID minus U, then it should be 0, I guess. Thank you for doing these little checks for me. I really appreciate it. So excellent. Perfect. Thank you. So Takov asks a question. He says, quick question. My Bluetooth earbuds died. What would you recommend in the $100 to $200 range for 5+ hour daily usage work? Well, I chose these, which I will bring them up on screen now. I'll tell you what, I'll finish this script and make sure it's all working, and then I'll talk about earbuds for you. So if I run this as myself, it fails. And now if I run the script with sudo, it works. And there we go. It now did that. And if I do which DockerSlim, use local bin DockerSlim, DockerSlim help is working. So is there a version flag on this? Check version. Oh, that's checking to see if there's a new version. Yeah. Version. So actually exit. Let's just do that. There we go. Nice. Okay. Let's go back here. I think what we'll do is, instead of, why is that verbose? I don't suppose it matters. I think what we can do is that. Run it again. Okay, and then at the end we get the, because that's why, that's what that is. Let's get rid of that. So we don't need that. There we go. Nice. All right. I think that's close enough for what we need. Yeah, mine are in the $100 to $200 range, Yannick. In fact, I bought 2 pairs on that there eBay for less than $150. But if you get them from Amazon, they are more expensive. And I will explain 2 things about these. So let's just go to the website so you can see exactly what they are from here. Oh no, that was earbuds I wanted. So I am using these, which in British pounds are advertised at £149. Now, there are 2 sets. Curiously, these ones are discounted. So I have 4 sets of these, but I bought 3 of them on eBay for less than half this price. These ones don't come with this dongle. If you get the one with the dongle, you get certain nifty features. So the reason I use these is they support aptX low latency. This dongle is an aptX low latency transmitter and audio interface, and it works in Linux, and it works in Mac OS, and it works on Nintendo Switch and PlayStation and Xbox and all sorts. So when you plug that in, they will automatically connect to it over aptX low latency, which is extremely low latency. It's like about 30 milliseconds. So I'm able to use that level of latency to monitor myself in my ears as I do live streams and podcasts. You know, it's that good. So I recommend these because EPOS are the spin-off from Sennheiser. So Sennheiser sold off their consumer business. EPOS Audio is the organization that is basically moved out of Sennheiser but have been doing Sennheiser's consumer audio. So I recommend these. They last for about five hours a charge, something like that, and I think you can charge them 3 times with the case, so you can get a total 20 hours. So I recommend these. Audio quality's ace. You get the aptX low latency attack off. Yes. I think I've turned off links because of the raids. Hang on a minute. If you could post it in my Discord, if you just post the link in Discord, I'll go and collect it from there, and I can paste it in chat. If you just put it in the broadcasting channel in Discord, and I'll copy it in here for everyone else. So yeah, Yannick says he's got a aptX low latency transmitter already, which is what I'm using as well. So I have another new bit of equipment I get to demonstrate now. I have upped my game with my overhead camera. Can now see everything. So you can now see the Stream Deck. When we're doing that Stream Deck stuff and we couldn't see the Stream Deck, it's now visible. So this is my audio interface, and this headphone out cable here ends up going over there somewhere into a Bluetooth transmitter, a dedicated Bluetooth transmitter. That is, I wonder if this, hang on a moment. Let's see if we can really go for this. Let's test the technology. Last time I tried this, it was Potato Vision o'clock. So let's see how we get on. No audio. Switch that to back facing start. Okay, let's try this then. If I go to oh, that's NDI. No, those are none of the right things. Oh, I haven't got one. Oh, bother. I wonder what this is. No. Let's try, hang on, let's try something. Let's try adding a scene here. And add ninja, that. There we go. That's kind of working. Okay, so over here, I have that, which is my Bluetooth transmitter, and that supports aptX low latency. So that's taking the audio from that headphone jack there and running it around to here, and that's how I get my wireless audio. And then up there, I have my charger for actual proper headset, which is what I use for listening to music on. And then you can see the two cases charging for the earbuds. And the reason I have two is because I wear these pretty much the whole day, and that enables me to get 10 hours. I can, if this gives me the low battery warning, I can just take them out, plop them in there, get the other pair out and put them in, and I'm good to go. Right. Well, now this works. Let's here we go. So right, this is what we have. So over here we have TIE Fighter lamp, and Darth Vader is holding one of my controllers there. Then we've got the Bluetooth transmitter. That is the PC there. If I stop moving, so you will see that a bit of a Imperial fan, and then up here is all the kit that's running, so you can see the microphone. There's the overhead camera, that's the one I'm speaking into. My keys are hanging up there, and then further up here we have some more stormtroopers up there, and then yeah, bits and bobs there, and then a couple of Imperial recruitment posters. There we go. So that's this space that I work in. So there you go, Takov. That was my recommendation. Did you post the link in Discord? I'm not seeing it. Oh, did you? Have I missed it entirely? Okay, I don't know. I don't see it. But anyway, there we go. So yeah, well, we've achieved the outcome. I have a shell script. So I'm being asked, let me just switch back. I need to see the other view, one mini moment. So Official Fenter is asking, am I sitting in an office? Kind of. If we go back to this view here, I am in a very small office, so hopefully you can see here. So I am in a small single person office. So two sides of the office are glass, and then out there is where is the co-working space, and this is a place called Desk Lodge, and the floor that I'm on, is themed like Route 66, which is why I have that behind me, because I am in, my office is called Illinois, and opposite me there is Chicago, and next door is something else, and you know, there's Texas and Oklahoma and what have you out there. So all the spaces have got, you know, names of the places on the Route 66 road. Yeah, it's a nice place. And so although my office is you know, bedecked with Star Wars paraphernalia, the whole place is. So in the main area there is a massive Statue of Liberty in the open area there, and all of the wall, one of the meeting rooms is done like a taxi cab. Everything is themed. Downstairs there's Narnia, which is really good. You actually go through the wardrobe doors into this quiet working space, and you go into the wardrobe, and then it's all woods around you. It's fab. And then there's a Zen room and all sorts. Yeah, it's a nice place to work. Yeah, and that's why I'm here. I was getting massive cabin fever, so as soon as it was safe to not be in the house, I used to hot desk here. In fact, Popey used to join me here. You know, on occasion we would work in the open spaces downstairs in the pirate ship and what have you. It was great fun. And that was in the before times. But yeah, as soon as it was safe to do so, I said, have you got an office? And here I am. And yeah, it's nice. It's nice just to sort of have that little routine of getting out the house and going to work. You know, it's not far. It's only a few minutes from where I live, but it's a change of scenery, and I've been relearning the art of conversation.
Thank you for the follow, Cassiris.
Thanks, Cassiris. Thanks for stopping by. Do say hello. It's always nice to catch up with everyone who joins us here. So, would love to have a separate desk though. Yeah. And this is a little bit more organised than my home setup, because my home office is shared between the three of us. So the bit of my office that you see at home is like, because of the wide angle lens, it looks a lot bigger than it is. It's probably as big as this here, but it's rammed full of stuff.
Thank you for the follow, Official Venter.
Thanks, Official Venter. I'm not sure if I'm speaking to Esme when I'm speaking to Official Venter. Is that who I'm talking to? And Popey says, yeah, he has a work desk at home and a personal desk, but he's looking to get some office space and move work stuff there. Yeah. It isn't me, I promise. Okay, so Official Venter is in fact a different person entirely. Okay, I got conflated. Right, that's good to know. Well, welcome, and thanks for the follow. Yeah, it's a bit far for you, I guess. Yeah, this is great. This is only 10 minutes walk from my daughter's new school as well, so she's up to secondary school now, so I can wander over there. In fact, I dropped her off this morning as well, which was good. Right then, well, we achieved the end goal here. Hopefully, Takov, I've given you enough information about what headsets I'm using and why, and that's enough information for you to go on and figure out more. But yeah, the EPOS GTW270, both can do aptX reception, but the hybrids are the only ones that come with the transmitter. And then Kasira says, I wish I could work from home, but it's hard to do things like cable runs remotely. Are you, do you do physical cable installations for networks and what have you then, or is that just one of the things that you do? So Yannick is asking how much latency I have, and I'm sure you're referring to the earbuds. I've never measured it scientifically, but I know that aptX low latency is somewhere in the ballpark of 30 to 40 milliseconds. And certainly the transmitter that I'm using now is, I think these are lower latency than my Sennheisers that I had been using. Because when I cover your ears, when I do that, I can obviously feel the touch and the movement, and I can hear it, and it's imperceptible. I can monitor myself. I have the monitoring turned on for this right now. I will prove this to be the case. If I do that and that, there it is. Oh, it doesn't show up very well. But that this switch here is what turns the direct monitor on or off. So I'm getting the monitoring going out of the interface through the transmitter, and it's perfect. And I've been, recording podcasts and doing streaming like this for 2 years, over 2.5 years now. And I've changed like the equipment a little bit over time. But yeah, it really works well for me. I don't like wearing headphones for an extremely long period of time, with the exception of the Sonys that I have, because they're super comfortable and I can keep those on like 14-hour flights, no problem. But they're not aptX low latency, and I'm not keen of this sort of streaming look where it's microphones in front of your face and big headphones on here. So I try to keep everything as discreet and out of sight as possible. And I was for the longest time using earbuds that they were wireless, but the earbuds were joined by wires. And I've tried IEMs, and they just catch on your neck and your shirt, and it drives me crackers. So yeah, these, I really like them. I think I said in another stream, I must have perfectly average ears, because all these in-ear bud things fit me really comfortably, and I don't get any irritation, doesn't make my ears ache or anything like that. I do wear these for over 6 or 7 hours a day every weekday, quite happily. Yeah, I had some Shure IEMs pull, and they were really, well, I've still got them, they're really hard, and they make your ears ache a lot. And then I did get, Sennheiser just released some IEMs, or rather they had the IEMs, but now they have a Bluetooth low latency adapter for them, and they are much more comfortable, but it's the thing dangling down your back, it just always catches and it drives me mad. So I like this. And the other advantage of this is that when I'm doing calls with work or attending a virtual conference, if I decide my tea is empty, which it is, I can just go to the kitchen and make a cup of tea, and I can still hear everything the whole time that things are going on. So you can just get up and go and do things without actually having to miss what's going on. So you get some added freedom. And in this space that I'm in, I mean, it's quite a big space. There's loads of offices here, but I can go from here all the way to the kitchen, which is, I don't know, about 30 meters away, and to the restrooms, which is the same distance in the other direction, and it will maintain, a connection over that whole distance. So, I can wander around and continue to listen to, conferences and events and things as I do that. It's great. So, Kasira says it's just one of the things they do. An electromechanical engineer. Okay, so you mainly do things in data center build outs. Oh, right. Okay, great. Yeah, I didn't used to do the data center build outs. I used to be like the client. So yeah, I understand fully what it is you're doing. So Popey says that yes, when we record the podcast together and I go to the toilet, that he can still I can still hear them talking about me. Only 2 more episodes that I have to put up with you two bitching about me behind my back. That's it. That's why we're stopping. I couldn't stand the abuse anymore. In fact, it's Ubuntu Podcast Day today. At exactly 3 o'clock this afternoon, a new episode of the Ubuntu Podcast will be released on ubuntupodcast.org. Irreconcilable differences. Yeah. No, the mic doesn't. That's firmly attached. In fact, I'm rather pleased with this arrangement. I did some work at the weekend to optimize this. Oh crikey, let's see now. Is this going to work? Oop. So this is how I have all of this boomed up. So you can see I've got some shelves here, and I've got the Elgato arm clamped on there, and then this is in multiple stages, you know, different angles, and then the mic is boomed up there. And as you can see, you know, if I I wonder if I can, does that make, there you go, you can see it's just above my head. That's where the mic is. So that's permanently boomed out of shot. So it's always in the right place and it's always ready to go, which means it's good for work and this sort of stuff. Right then. So Takov says, any other podcast with any of you in the near future? Well, as long as they'll have me, I intend to reprise my role as a talking head on Linux Unplugged on a semi-regular basis after we put the Ubuntu podcast to bed. The main reason I've not done that in recent times is because we record at the same time LUP is recorded. So it used to be that Popey and I were able to record the Ubuntu podcast, and then we were able to join LUP just as it was starting. So it was a long evening of podcasting, but it meant that Tuesday night was podcast night. But then, I don't know, about 18 months, 2 years ago, LUP changed their recording time, and it directly conflicts with when we record Ubuntu podcast. So it's just not been practical. So now we won't be doing Ubuntu podcast. I will head over to Linux Unplugged on a Tuesday night fairly regularly, I think. When it doesn't conflict with me wanting to do live streams on Tuesday evening, that is. And Popey says he's thinking of heading to LUP as well. I mean, it's a good crowd over there. It's been a long time since I've been on there regularly. So I'll have to spend some time listening and getting acquainted with who the voices and personalities are over there. Anyway, I think I've done everything we've achieved to do. It's a slightly longer stream for a morning. I hope everyone enjoyed their juice or tea or coffee or whatever it was you were drinking as we were getting that done. I will be back tomorrow morning to do something. I'm not sure what yet, but I'll be here. Most mornings I'm here on Twitch drinking tea and fiddling about with Linux related stuff. Always welcome to come and join me for a chat. And whilst I usually have something in mind I want to work on, as today, I'm more than happy for them to sort of turn into some Linux and broadcasting chat, you know, based on the tools that I'm using or equipment that I have. More than happy to, you know, dive into that. I think those conversations are kind of fun. And also, it's extremely useful when I want to do something like this and there's a bunch of people in the chat that have got the hardware that I needed access to know what the return parameters were. So thank you very much, those of you that helped me actually put this together. So yeah, Popey's, well, no, so Popey is going to start streaming. He has told me this, and no Esme, no rivalry at all. I have said to Popey I'm more than happy to help like get him an OBS set up and running. And Popey, I haven't forgotten, I did actually look at the links that I was talking to you about the other day, and I couldn't find the ones that I was referring to. I'll send you some other stuff later, which is similar but not exactly what I was describing. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Popey. In fact, somebody said about raiding. Ah, man, well done. I'm so bad at this. Let's see who's on Twitch right now in the appropriate category doing something interesting. Oh man, he's always on. Oh, that looks like an interesting one. Lots of game dev, web design, trying to pick things in the same language that I'm speaking. Oh, there's me. How nice. I tell you what, he's been. Oh, I keep sending people there though. Let's see who. So well, let's go to this guy. Let's go to this guy. Right then. Thanks very much for coming, everyone. We are going to go on a raid, and I will hopefully see you the same time tomorrow, and if not, in a stream very soon, hopefully on Slim DevOps. We'll be streaming there later today. So we're going to go raiding. Please come and join us on Slim DevOps later to level up your Docker skills, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. We've hit the raid button. I'm ending this one. Bye bye.